Bonjour, je m'appelle Sunmoluwa. J'ai appris le français à l'âge adulte et grâce à cette langue, j'ai pu m'installer au Canada. I'm going to be honest with you. When I picked up my first French book, I had no idea what I was doing. I was in Côte on holiday with my friends. We walked into a bookshop and I saw a Danielle Steel novel. I'm going to show it to you. La Maison, Jours Heureux. I thought, why not? Let me try. It was hard. It was so hard. I didn't understand half the word. The sentences were long. The vocabulary was way above my level. I had picked up a full novel when I probably should have started with something simpler. But I kept going. I mean, you can even see how I kept going page by page, chapter by chapter. And when I finished that book, I felt something I'd never felt before in my French learning journey. I had actually finished the book in French, cover to cover. Now, I'm not going to tell you reading is magical and everything will click overnight, but I will tell you this. Reading changed my vocabulary in ways that apps and lessons never did. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how I read, the books I recommend for every level, and I'm even going to read something live so you can see my actual process. So, what actually changed when I started reading? My vocabulary exploded, but not in the way you think. See, when you learn vocabulary from an app, you memorize words in isolation. Maison means house, heureux means happy. You know the definition, but you don't really know the word. When you read, you see words in context. You see how they're used in sentences. You see them over and over in different situations, and your brain starts to absorb them naturally. For example, before I started reading, I struggled with the imperfect. That is the past tense used for like background descriptions and ongoing past action. I knew the rules, I could conjugate the verbs, but I never knew when to actually use it. Because when you're describing a scene, you know, like setting the background, then I started reading novels, and novels are full of imperfect, talking about how things used to be. That's imperfect. I saw it so many times in context that it finally clicked. Not because I studied harder, but because I read. Same thing with reflexive verbs. Je me suis levée, elle s'est habillée, ils se sont regardés. I saw them constantly in the stories I was reading, and they became natural to me. That's what reading does. It takes grammar from your head and puts it in your gut. Now, let me tell you about my first mistake. See, this Danielle Steel book, La Maison de Jours Heureux, it was way too hard for me. I simply picked it up because I love Danielle Steel in English. I thought, I know her writing style, I'll be fine. I was not fine. The vocabulary was advanced. The sentences were complex. I was stopping every few lines, confused, frustrated, wondering if I should just quit. But here's what I learned from that experience. Your first book doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be finished. But, and this is important, when I picked up my next book, I was smarter about it. I chose something at my level, and that made all the difference. So, how do you choose the right book? If you're a complete beginner, my advice is read children's books. I know you might be thinking, oh my goodness, so more really children's books, it sounds embarrassing. Children's books are designed for people who are learning to read. Simple sentences, basic vocabulary, pictures to help with context. Right now, I'm teaching my husband French alongside some one-on-one students that I have, and I'm going to show you some different books that I'm using for him and other students of mine. So here are some of the books I was talking about. You see that these are literally for beginners. And this collection, so you can check online, is same as these as well. And these are quite good. So these are some of the books that I'm currently using. This one is actually very good because it's a whole collection. See? Okay. Happy reading. So take a look at these first of all. I call them the J'apprends à lire series. I have so many, but my hands cannot hold everything. These series, they are honestly incredible. They are leveled. We have niveau 1, niveau 2, niveau 3. Like, you can see this. You can see niveau 2, right? So you can progress naturally. We have niveau 3. Like, you can see the stories are simple, but honestly, actually enjoyable. So you see, like, they have pictures. They're good for beginners. So don't be shy. And one thing I love about them, I don't even know if the camera can get this clearly, but you can see that they link them. So you actually know what words. So you don't say on a, you say on a. Or for instance, you don't say les enfants. You say les enfants. I hope this is clear. You say les enfants. Do you get? So they actually help you because they're for beginners. So you don't, immediately you see them, you're like, oh, this is how you're supposed to pronounce these words. Like, just even the titles just help you. I mean, Sami et Julie cherchent les œufs. Sami et Julie font des crêpes. Sami et Julie et le magie de Noël. When you finish one, you feel accomplished. And that feeling makes you want to read another. So just to point out, there are different ones. You know, I showed you earlier, j'apprends à lire avec Sami et Julie, right? But we also have the j'apprends à lire Montessori. So you can see j'apprends à lire Montessori. You can see the differences in these. So they're also leveled and they're great for absolute beginners. Okay. You can look for them online. We also have the J'aime lire magazine books. They're short story for kids and they're honestly very digestible. So let me flip through so you can see. I mean, you see how they are? Really, really digestible. So what I would say is please don't be embarrassed to read children's books. They work and finishing a simple book is better than quitting a hard one. Now, if you're at the A2 or the B1 level, I genuinely think graded readers are one of the best things you can add to your learning. But to be honest, I didn't always think this. Like many learners, I once tried reading a full novel that was clearly above my real level, and it was frustrating. Then I came across Short Stories in French by Ollie Richards. Please note that this is not a sponsored video. I don't even know if they sponsor such. Interestingly, it was actually recommended to me by a student of mine, so I decided to read it properly before ever suggesting it to anyone else. And honestly, they are very good books. I mean, the stories are engaging, they're not childish, they're not boring, they're just well written and accessible. One thing that really stayed with me was something a student of mine once said after finishing the Short Stories in French book. He said he wasn't just proud, he was excited. He actually enjoyed reading in French and wanted to keep going. And that to me is the real difference between the right book and the wrong book. So if you're around B1 and really want to stretch yourself, this is a solid place to start. You can check on Amazon for any of these books. If you're at B2 or C1, read whatever interests you. At this level, you can handle most things. So what I would say is pick books you actually want to read. I started with Danielle Steel because I already knew her stories in English. That helped me follow along even when I missed words. Quand j'étais à Montpellier l'année dernière, I walked into a bookstore and just browsed. I picked up different books that caught my eye. I really like this book. So it's quite different from anything I've read, but it was a very interesting book. I also decided to pick up some classic novels. I mean, I don't think these are even like C1 level or anything, but I've always told myself that I wanted to have these kind of books in my collection, you know, read them to my daughter when she gets older. I just think they're really good. I just chose what looked interesting. I picked up books that caught my eye. I didn't overthink it. Le Petit Prince is what everyone recommends, but honestly, I found it more intermediate than beginner. That's why I'm putting it here for like B2, C1, okay? The vocabulary is poetic, the sentences are layered, and so I would advise don't start there if you're brand new. For my DALF C1 prep, I'm using the actual DALF C1 textbook. Yeah, I think I've shown this book enough times now. It has reading comprehension exercises that really train you for the exam format. So you see, it actually shows you compréhension des écrits C1. And so there are actual texts that you can read. So you see here, yeah. My advice is mostly just read what you enjoy. If you hate the book, you won't finish it. Now let me show you how I actually read, because I think this is where people get stuck. They think reading has to be this intense study session, like dictionary open, notebook ready, highlighting every word. That's not how I do it. And I'll show you my actual routine now. I wake up in the morning most times, or I can decide maybe it's weekend, I want to just sit down on my couch. But most times I wake up in the morning before the chaos starts, like before my daughter wakes up, before work. I just try and sit in my bed. I cover my legs with my duvet and I read. That's it. Nothing fancy. I don't set a timer. I don't say I must read for 20 minutes. I just try to read one chapter. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. Sometimes it's 30 minutes. I don't force it. And when I'm reading, I don't stop at every word I don't understand. If I get the general meaning of the sentence, I keep going. Context fills in the gap. If I see a word multiple times and I still don't know it, then I note it down. I finish the chapter first, then I go back, look at the word in context and check the meaning. The key is I'm not studying, I'm enjoying. Reading should feel like reading, not like homework. And surprisingly, like I said earlier, I started understanding grammar naturally. Things like reflexive verbs and different verb patterns, just because I kept seeing them again and again in the books I was reading. Honestly, I learned some things through reading that even formal lessons didn't help me internalize that fast. So let me show you what I mean. I'm going to read this paragraph right here, okay, from this book right now. Like I told you, this is my DALF C1 textbook because I'm preparing for the exam. And I'm going to show you exactly how I process it, okay? So let's read together. En revanche, virgule, les familles de 4 enfants ou plus se sont raréfiées. Elles sont plus fréquentes parmi les non-diplômés. Point. De plus, 24% des immigrés âgés de 50 à 59 ans ont eu 4 enfants ou plus, contre 8% des non-immigrés de même âge. Mais quel que soit le nombre d'enfants considérés, les descendants d'immigrés ont le même comportement que les non-immigrés. Okay, so you heard that. Did I understand every single word? Honestly, I would say about 98% yes. But did I understand what was happening? Yes. So this word right here, I don't exactly know what it means, but from the context, I can guess it's something with rare, like having to do with rare, R-A-R-E. I'll keep reading. If it comes up again in the textbook or when I'm with my tutor, I'll note it down. This is how I read. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Now, here's a bonus method that combines reading, listening, and writing, dictation. I got this book to use for my students, and basically, here's how it works. You have QR codes here, right? So you can see these QR codes. So all you need to do is you scan the QR code, it plays an audio message, and you write down what you hear. Then you check your work against the text. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say, for instance, we have this text right here. Okay? You can see the QR code here. I'm actually going to play it for you so you see what I mean. Now, I want you to take note of what piste this is, right? It says what? You see piste numéro 1. So let me play it for you.
Piste numéro 1. Le collège organise chaque année un échange avec une école anglaise.
Do you see? So did you get the first sentence? So see what happens afterwards. I want you to just pay attention and listen, okay?
Le collège organise chaque année un échange avec une école anglaise. Point.
Perfect. This is powerful because you're training your ear and your spelling and your grammar all at once. You are verifying that what you hear is what's actually being said. When I use this method with my students, I notice that their sentence structure improves immensely. Their spelling improves, their confidence improves because, right there and then, they listen, they write, and they check like, wow. And so if you have a study partner, what I can advise is you can even take turns reading to each other and writing what you hear. It's hard, it's slow, but it works. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Sumo, all of this you're saying, all of this, it sounds great, but I'm not ready yet. Like my French isn't good enough. Let me tell you something. I wasn't ready when I picked up that Danielle Steel book in Côte. I didn't understand half of the book, but I finished it. You will never feel ready. If you keep waiting until you're good enough, you'll be waiting forever. The only way to become ready is to start. So when someone tells me I'm not ready to read in French yet, but actually, to be honest, I don't even know what to say because I don't think anybody has ever really told me that. But if I had to respond, I would say that you don't become ready before you read. You become ready because you read. You just need the right level. Pick up a children's book, read one page, then read another, finish the book, then pick up another. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to start. And I promise you, like 6 months from now, you will look back and think, I can't believe how much I've improved, but only if you start today. So here's what I want you to do. Pick a book at your level. Children's books for beginners, graded readers for intermediates, anything you enjoy for advanced. Number 2, read in the morning before distractions start or at any time in the day that suits you. Don't stop at every word. Keep going. Let context help you. Note down words that keep appearing, then look them up after. Try dictation to combine reading, listening, and writing. Reading is not magic, but it will change your vocabulary faster than any app. It will make grammar feel natural, and it will give you confidence you didn't know you could have. The first book I finished in French, guys, it was this book. It was way too hard for me. I didn't understand everything, but I finished it. So tell me, what will your first book be? Drop it in the comments below. Tell me what you're going to read. And if you've already started, tell me what you're reading now. Let's build a community of French readers. Also, if you would love a complete roadmap for your French journey, over 90 topics taking you from the A1 level to the C1, which is basically from beginner level to the advanced level, I have linked my French fluency guide in the description box below. It's the first link in the description box below. So many people have told me how it's helping them so much now because they have a guide that takes them from beginner. They actually know what they're learning, what they're studying, and they're excited to move on to the next week. Please like this video as it really helps the channel, and also share and subscribe if this video helped you. I post videos every single week to help you on your French journey. Until I see you in my next video, bonne journée.